You are not broke because of the economy. You are not stuck because you lack opportunity. You are financially exactly where your mental operating system programmed you to be. And the part nobody wants to hear, that operating system was installed by people who profit from you staying exactly where you are. The wealth gap in 2026 is not random. It is architectural. The people who escape it do not work harder. They install 3 specific systems that most people never learn exist. Today you are going to see all 3 and exactly how to install them. Wealth building in 2026 comes down to 3 operating architectures. Asymmetric leverage, where your results grow exponentially while your effort stays constant. Neural identity, where you rewire your subconscious relationship with money from scarcity to abundance, and compound sequencing, where small, intelligent decisions create geometric wealth over time. Master these 3 layers, and wealth becomes an engineering problem. Ignore them, and no amount of hustle will save you. The traditional wealth advice sounds reasonable on the surface. Get a good job. Max out your 401k. Cut lattes. Live below your means for 30 years. Retire at 65. That model was engineered in 1950 when the average American male lived to 68. Work 40 years. Retire, enjoy 3 years, die. The math was never built for you to win. It was built to keep you compliant until your body gave out. But the broken math is not even the worst part. The worst part is you are still running that program. In 2026, with a completely different economy, different technology, different threats, different lifespans, and the advice has barely changed. Save more, spend less, wait longer, die hoping it was enough. The top 1% deleted that software decades ago. They run a different operating system entirely. And the first layer of that system is something most people have never even considered. Asymmetric leverage means your results are not tied to your hours. You build once. You get paid repeatedly. You create once. It scales without you. Think about the difference at a structural level. A doctor trades time for money. 50 patients a week at $300 each. $15,000 a week. Sounds impressive until you see the ceiling. 50 patients is the maximum. The doctor cannot clone themselves, cannot see 60 patients. The income model has a hard cap built into its architecture. Now consider someone who packages that same medical knowledge into a course, creates it once, sells it to 50 people, then 500, then 5,000. Same expertise, same initial effort, completely different architecture. The course earns while the creator sleeps, travels, builds the next thing. That is not a difference in talent. That is a difference in system design. And that difference compounds over time in ways most people never calculate. After 5 years, the doctor has earned roughly $3.9 million. Impressive. But they had to show up for every single one of those dollars. 5 years of 50-hour weeks. No time off. That does not cost them income. The ceiling stayed the same every single year. After 5 years, the course creator's asset has generated income on 365 days per year, including every weekend, every holiday, every sick day. And the ceiling did not exist because digital assets scale without requiring the creator's presence. Same starting expertise, radically different architecture, radically different outcomes. So look at your own situation right now. Is your income attached to a clock? Does it stop when you stop? If the answer is yes, you do not have a leverage problem. You have an architecture problem. And architecture problems do not get solved by working harder inside a broken structure. They get solved by building a different structure entirely. Identify one skill you already have that people would pay to learn. Writing, design, sales, finance, fitness, whatever it is, you can package it into an asset that scales beyond your hours. A template library, a digital course, a consulting framework you license. The format matters less than the principle. Build once, get paid repeatedly. And speaking of building the right architecture, if you are serious about installing real wealth systems, not just learning about them, I created something specifically for people at this stage. The VYBO Wealth Blueprint breaks down the exact frameworks, psychology shifts, and system designs that separate those who talk about success from those who build it. It is the complete installation guide I wish someone handed me at the start. Check the link in the description or scan the QR code on your screen if you're ready to stop consuming and start building. Now, most people hear about leverage and get excited. They start building a product, they launch something, they get initial traction, and then something strange happens. They sabotage it, not consciously, not deliberately, but systematically. They earn a bonus and a mysterious expense appears the same week. They build savings and then blow it on something they did not need. They gain momentum and then find a reason to stop right before the breakthrough. That is not bad luck. That is the second layer working against them. And until you understand it, leverage alone will not save you. Your brain runs a financial thermostat, not for temperature, for wealth. Behavioral psychologists call it your financial set point, the subconscious amount of money your brain believes you deserve to hold. And no matter how much you earn, your brain will find creative ways to pull you back to that set point every time. You have watched it happen to people you know. Someone makes 6 figures and is still broke by month end. Someone inherits money and it vanishes within a few years. The pattern is consistent because the mechanism is internal, not external. The thermostat always wins. Always. So how do you reprogram it? Not with affirmations taped to your mirror, not with vision boards, but with identity reconstruction at the operating system level. This is neural identity, and it changes everything. Someone chasing wealth says, I want to make $1 million. Someone running a wealth identity says, I am the kind of person who builds $1 million systems. The difference sounds subtle. It is devastating. One is a goal, the other is an operating system. Goals fail when motivation fades. Identity persists because it is who you are, not what you want. You install it with these 3 specific actions. First, audit your self-talk. What runs through your head when you check your bank account? If the internal voice says, I am broke, you are programming scarcity into every decision you make. Language physically rewires neural pathways. Change the language to, I am building, and you change the wiring. Second, curate your information architecture. Stop consuming content that shows you what to buy. Start consuming content that shows you what to build. The algorithm you feed your brain determines the output your brain produces. Third, make wealth decisions before you have wealth. The wealthy do not spend differently because they have money. They have money because they spend differently. They choose assets over liabilities, long-term over short-term, compound growth over instant gratification. Not someday, but today. Starting with the very next purchase you make. That is neural identity. You become wealthy in your operating system first, then your bank account catches up to match. And if you want to accelerate that transformation, if you want the full implementation blueprint, the step-by-step daily operating system, and the exact frameworks that reprogram how your brain processes wealth, that is inside the 1% by VYBO on School. The link is in the description. Or scan the QR code on your screen right now and join directly. That is where operators go to install these systems with accountability. Not spectators, but operators. Now we have covered asymmetric leverage and neural identity, two layers of the operating system installed. But most people still fail even after getting those right, because they ignore the math. And the math is where the third layer turns small actions into massive outcomes. Albert Einstein may or may not have called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. But the principle does not need a famous endorsement. The math speaks for itself. If you invest $1,000 a month at an 8% annual return, in 10 years, you hold roughly $180,000. In 20 years, that number crosses $500,000. In 30 years, it passes $1.5 million. Same monthly contribution, same rate. Completely different timelines producing exponentially different results. But compounding does not only apply to investment accounts. That is the part most people miss entirely. Your skills compound. Every hour you spend building a high-value skill stacks on top of the hours before it. Your reputation compounds. Every quality interaction builds trust that opens doors years later. Your network compounds. Every genuine relationship creates access that multiplies over time. Your systems compound. Every asset you build generates returns that fund the next asset. Every decision you make is either compounding in your favor or compounding against you. That morning routine you skip, compounding against you. That book you read, compounding for you. That impulse purchase, against. That investment, for. There is no neutral. Everything compounds in one direction or the other. So the question is not whether you believe in compounding. The question is which direction your daily decisions are compounding right now. And the framework for controlling that direction is simple. 2% daily improvement, not doubling overnight. Getting slightly better every single day. Read for 20 minutes. Build for 20 minutes. Exercise for 20 minutes. Small inputs, yet massive compounding outputs over time. Pick 6 strategic bets per year, not 60, but 6. The highest leverage opportunities you can commit to fully. Go all in on those 6. Ignore everything else. Focus compounds. Distraction destroys. Give each bet 26 weeks to compound before you assess. No quitting at week 3, no pivoting at week 8 because something shinier appeared. Commit to the full cycle, then evaluate, then adjust. That patience is what separates compound wealth from compound frustration. Think about what this means practically. If you started compounding intelligent decisions today, 6 months from now, every one of those decisions would be stacking on top of each other. But if you wait 6 months to start, you do not just lose 6 months, you lose everything. Those 6 months would have generated compounding on top of each other. The cost of delay is not lost time. It is lost compounding. And lost compounding is the most expensive thing you will never see on a bank statement. So we have covered all 3 layers. Asymmetric leverage gives you the engine, income that scales beyond your time. Neural identity gives you the thermostat, a subconscious operating system aligned with wealth instead of fighting against it. And compound sequencing gives you the timeline, small intelligent decisions stacking into exponential results. But understanding the system and installing the system are 2 completely different things. So let me give you the exact 90-day installation roadmap. Phase 1, weeks 1 through 4. Audit your current operating system. You cannot install new software until you see what is already running. Track every hour for 1 week. Not what you planned, what you actually did. You will find most of your time feeds someone else's system. Meetings that build someone else's company. Scrolling that feeds someone else's algorithm. Errands that maintain someone else's priorities. That alone will change how you see your day. But the financial audit is even more revealing. Track every dollar for 1 month. You will discover $500 to $1,000 bleeding out monthly through subscriptions you forgot, convenience purchases you do not enjoy, and lifestyle inflation that crept in without a single conscious decision. That money is not gone. It is currently invested in someone else's wealth system instead of yours. But the audit most people skip is the relationship audit, and it matters more than the financial one. Your net worth tends to mirror the average net worth of the 5 people you spend the most time with, not because your friends are bad people, because proximity is programming. If your inner circle is comfortable being broke, your operating system absorbs that comfort as a default setting. Audit everything. No judgment, just raw data on where your time, money, and attention are actually going. That data is your starting point. Everything else builds from it. And the next phase is where most people get excited, because this is where the architecture starts generating income. Phase 2, weeks 5 through 8. Install asymmetric leverage. Take one skill you already have and package it into something that can generate income independent of your time. A template library, a digital course, a consulting framework. It does not need to be perfect. It needs to exist. Even if you earn $100 in that first month, you have proven the architecture works. The model is validated. Now you refine and scale. That first $100 is not revenue. It is proof of concept for a system that can grow to $10,000 and beyond. That proof of concept is worth more than any amount of planning, because now you know it works. And knowing it works changes how you approach everything that follows. Phase 3, weeks 9 through 12. Reprogram neural identity. Spend 10 minutes every morning visualizing yourself as the person who already operates the system you are building. Not fantasizing about what you will buy. Visualizing the decisions, the discipline, the detachment from short-term impulses. Your brain cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a lived one. Surgeons use this. Professional athletes use this. You should too. Speak your new identity out loud daily. I build wealth. I make intelligent financial decisions. I choose long-term compounding over short-term comfort. And then, gather evidence. Document every smart decision, every dollar redirected, every hour reclaimed. Your brain learns through pattern recognition. Show it the pattern you want it to repeat. Identity programming is not a one-time event. It is a daily practice that becomes automatic over time. Once the new identity takes root, the old thermostat stops pulling you backward. And that is when the final layer locks everything into place. Phase 4, ongoing. Activate compound sequencing. Commit to 2% daily improvement for the next 26 weeks. Pick your 6 strategic bets. Execute without quitting. The people who fail do not fail because they chose wrong. They fail because they quit at week 3 when the compounding had barely started. Now, the reason this matters more in 2026 than any previous year. The gap between those who operate systems and those who chase goals is about to become permanent. AI is eliminating linear jobs while creating exponential opportunities for system builders. The financial system rewards assets and punishes pure labor more aggressively every year. A 4-year degree now costs more than most graduates earn in their first 3 years of using it. The old path is not just inefficient, it is mathematically broken. This is not pessimism. This is pattern recognition. The people who see the pattern and act on it will build more wealth in the next 5 years than the previous generation built in 30. The people who keep running the old software will fall further behind every single month. You can be upset about that, Or you can be the person who moved first. Wealth in 2026 is 3 architectures running together inside your operating system. Asymmetric leverage to build the engine. Neural identity to set the thermostat. Compound sequencing to activate the timeline. Install all 3. Audit your current system. Build leverage, reprogram identity, activate compounding. The roadmap is 90 days. The decision is right now. Your move. Make it count. Applying this operating system is step 1. But the entire architecture collapses if your foundation is still built on goals instead of systems. Watch this video next to completely rebuild that foundation. Because everything you just installed only runs correctly when the base layer is right.